Everybody's quick to crown the Big Ten as the best conference in college football because they've had the three most recent national champions, and I'll give them credit for that. But when you stop looking at just the trophy case and you start looking at the entire picture, the recruiting, the draft picks, the depth, and the week-to-week grind, college football still runs through the SEC, and I'm about to tell you why. First off, if we're talking about which conference is better, we have to start with strength of schedule, because it's one thing to win games, but it's another thing to win games when you're playing a tougher opponent almost every single week. And when you look at the last 5 seasons, the SEC led the Big Ten in average strength of schedule 4 out of the last 5 years. The only year the Big Ten had the edge was 2021. Since then, it has been the SEC every year. In 2022, the SEC had an average strength of schedule of 8.96 compared to the Big Ten's 6.06. In 2023, it was 8.51 to 4.80. In 2024, the gap was 11.36 to 7.81. And even in 2025, when the Big Ten closed the gap, the SEC still led 11.89 to 10.27. Over the full 5-year stretch, the SEC averaged 9.38 strength of schedule, while the Big Ten averaged a 7.09 strength of schedule. That's a plus 2.3 edge for the SEC. So when people say the Big Ten teams have had recent success, that's fair. But the SEC argument is still this. From top to bottom, you're going through a harder strength of schedule more consistently. There are fewer easier weeks, more ranked caliber opponents, and more physical games. That matters when we're comparing the entire conference, not just the best teams at the end of the year. The SEC has a built-in advantage because it sits right in the middle of the NFL talent country. Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Texas are all top 10 NFL players per capita states. So while the Big Ten has to recruit nationally to keep up, the SEC is pulling NFL talent straight out of its backyard. And to prove that those players are staying home, from 2022 to 2026, the SEC had 352 NFL draft picks. The Big Ten had 284. That's a 68-player gap over just 5 drafts. And this is not a one-year fluke. The SEC led the Big Ten every single year on this chart. In 2022, it was 65 to 48. In 23, 62 to 55. In 24, 59 to 42. In 25, 79 to 71. And in 2026, the SEC set a record with 87 players drafted to the Big Ten's 68. So when we talk about which conference is better, this matters. The NFL draft is one of the clearest ways to measure talent. If more players from your conference are getting drafted year after year, that tells me your league has more NFL caliber athletes on the field. And that is exactly why the SEC is so tough. It is not just Alabama or Georgia. It is the depth of the league. You are playing NFL bodies almost every week. The Big Ten has had recent championship success, and I am not taking that away from them. But if we are comparing the full conference, strength of schedule, recruiting footprint, and NFL talent production, the SEC still has the better overall argument. Let's debate it in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.